Sand hit my face an instant after the spade struck stone. The trench wall at Fort Julien shivered, then started pouring inward. Men shouted, tools slipped, and the soldier who had made the strike yanked at his spade as if he might rip the buried slab in half. "Don't pry," I snapped, already bracing my shoulder against the sand. "Boards on this side, ropes under it, move!" Pierre-François Bouchard dropped into the pit beside me, saw the dark curve beneath the sand, and his whole expression changed. This was no common block. We jammed planks into the crumbling wall while soldiers and labourers hauled on ropes. The trench groaned again. "Easy," I said. "If the face cracks, we lose everything." The slab tilted. Sun crossed its surface. 3 bands of writing appeared. Greek below, Demotic above it, and hieroglyphs at the top, broken but unmistakable. Then, at one chipped edge, I saw something stranger. A tiny metallic glint inside a line too straight, too even, too precise to belong in an ancient fracture. Dust swallowed it at once. Only when the stone was safe on the ground did I breathe properly. Around us, Fort Julien baked under the 1799 sun. Cannon, tents, survey tables, soldiers, scholars, and labourers, all crammed into Napoleon's Egyptian campaign. The French had come to conquer, but they had also brought engineers and savants to catalogue the ancient world. That was why this discovery mattered so much. History would remember this as the Rosetta Stone, the slab that helped unlock ancient Egyptian writing. I had come because of that, and because my instruments had flagged the same odd pattern here that I had once traced through the gear artifacts tied to the 1783 flight experiments. Bouchard knelt beside me as I brushed away sand. I pointed to the stacked scripts. 3 versions of one decree, Greek, Demotic, hieroglyphs. Someday scholars will compare them and force open a language sealed for centuries. He gave me a narrow look. "You sound very certain." "I am," I said, then lowered my voice. "But this stone is doing more than speaking." Along one edge, beneath the inscription, ran grooves so regular they looked machined. Not decoration, not damage, design. In a quieter corner of the fort, I examined the slab with a lens while scribes prepared copies. Under the dust, tiny metallic inlays flashed like threads inside the basalt. They formed a measured grid, woven beneath the writing itself. I had seen that kind of precision before. The pattern matched the tethering systems hidden inside those earlier artifacts. Devices meant not simply to store knowledge, but to connect to something larger. The more I studied it, the worse my suspicion became. The grid aligned not with the text alone, but with mapped channels and fault lines beneath the Nile Delta. This slab had been placed to function as a key, a tether for a subterranean energy source. Someone had hidden a mechanism inside one of history's greatest linguistic treasures, and someone else already knew. Fresh scoring marked the metal lines. Tiny chips were missing. One labourer lingered near the non-hieroglyphic bands with far too much interest. Bouchard muttered that accidents had followed the dig all week. A scholar officer hurried in, eager to copy the Greek, while I tried to keep everyone's attention off the true anomaly. Then I saw the suspicious worker slip into the documentation tent. Inside, scribes were preparing impressions when he produced a paste and began rubbing it across the machined lines and lower script, the very places where the metal showed through. I lunged. "Away from the stone!" He spun, dropped the disguise in an instant, and drove a chisel toward the inlays. "The hidden hand will not leave the key for fools and empires," he hissed. We crashed into a table. Ink flew, papers scattered. Bouchard charged in as the operative struck again, trying to shear out the metallic threads before they could be copied. A lantern toppled. The Rosetta Stone rocked on its supports. For one terrible second I thought we would save the mechanism, only to destroy the inscription. Instead, I caught his wrist against the basalt, slammed the chisel aside, and drove him back hard enough for Bouchard to call the guards. We shoved thicker braces under the slab and covered the exposed lines before any more damage could be done. The key survived. So did the text. Afterward, I stayed long enough to see the copying done properly. Enough of the inscriptions remained for future scholars, and enough of the metallic grid remained for me to understand the danger. Bouchard formally secured the find. History, bruised but intact, continued on its path. But the operative had not finished with me. Amid a rising sandstorm, he slipped his guards and vanished beyond the fort into a wall of blinding, mirage-shaken dust. In the satchel he left behind, I found the next warning: a scorched naval star map of the Pacific, marked with symbols that matched the stone's hidden grid exactly. So yes, the Rosetta Stone would help unlock ancient Egypt. But someone had also meant it to unlock power buried below the earth. And the trail now ran far beyond Egypt, out across violent seas and into the uncharted Pacific of the early 19th century. I folded the map, looked once more at the rescued stone, and ran for my machine before the storm swallowed the last tracks.